Spurs 2, Manchester United 2, and I just want to make a couple of points before we get into the video. One, I'm not hammering out. And two, if you're expecting a positive review, stop right now, don't watch it. However, if you do want to engage in a conversation about my criticisms, I'd kindly urge everyone to listen to the whole video, however long it might be, because maybe you'll miss a point towards the end that you didn't watch. Uh, Anyway, the game was mostly lackluster. It was mostly mid. Um, a lot of issues to unpack. But you know what? I think we'll go players first because then I think we'll bring the manager into the player selection afterwards. Let's start with Lamens. I thought Lamens did well for whatever he could. Could he have done better? Maybe not. But I'm not going to blame Lamens because I mean, he did his best. He's young. He's new to the game. He's new to the team. He's doing his best. He made a couple of great saves as well today, much like last week. The Mazraoui pick was a head scratcher to me, uh, and I will explain why later on as we when we critique the manager because the explanation will make more sense then. Came on, started after being injured for a while. Right wing back, I personally think he's good at right centre back. I think that's where his best performances were. He's not very good at attacking. He looked off the boil, which is normal, and I don't know why we would play him before the international break. If we were concerned about his minutes, I think he's going to with Morocco anyway. Let him get minutes at Morocco. I don't know why we have to take that chance, especially when every 3 points is important at this stage of the season. Matthias de Ligt, spoiler alert, one of two of our best players on the pitch today. Um, yeah, the deflected goal happened, but that can happen anywhere. I thought he saved us from making it worse, especially towards the end. Um, Maguire was all right. Average. Nothing really stand out to criticize about. Luke Shaw was getting caught out of position a lot, and that's because of the person next to him, Patrick Dorgu. And yeah, I know people are going to say you're just being negative to Dorgu, but hear me out for a second, right? People like stats. I'm going to give you some stats. I don't care about stats normally, but I had to read it myself to make sure I'm seeing what I was seeing. Patrick Dorgu was giving loose balls constantly. I think he lost possession 16 times at left wing back, by the way. And loose balls, he wasn't sure of the ball at his feet. To me, the last two games showed that he shouldn't be starting. I know I've said this before, so I'll not go on again. I don't think there's enough evidence to say he's better than Dallo. Now, people will say they're both equally bad. I don't think so. In today's game, he played 80 minutes. He had a 55% pass accuracy. Now, people will say, that's all right, that's not bad. When you dive in deeper to the pass accuracy, he had an 88% pass accuracy in his own half. What does that basically mean? Back and sideways passes. And remember, he's a wing back. Amarim likes attacking wingers for wing backs, right? I think his percentage was much lower ahead, 28%, I think, and that's how his overall became 55%. So that 55%, don't let it fool you. You need to look into it a little bit more. He made 4 crosses. He successfully completed 1. Towards the end of the game, he didn't look up. Sheshko laid him off. Sheshko is the last man, right, in the formation we play. He knows he gets the ball from the furthest forward player. I believe it was Sheshko or whoever the furthest forward player was. He doesn't look up. Ahmad, obviously not being tall, has to get in the box, right, because he's hoping for the ball to come down, whiz past. He doesn't look up. He whizzes the ball, and the ball literally goes over the bar. It doesn't even end up in play, and he doesn't look when he crosses a lot. He pulled Shaw out. Shaw had a really bad performance today. I think, especially in our 3-game win streak, I think he was easily one of our best players. Notice when Dallo came on for the last 15 minutes, he wasn't getting pulled out of position much. But more on the wing-back situation later. I know he's young, but he's not good enough. And, if it requires you all to watch a few more games to realize he's not good enough, then fair enough to you guys. But I'm just saying, if you're going to look at the stats, look at the stats. It's some of it is more telling than others. The heat map is for a wing back. His most popular positions was like about 10 to 15 meters on the halfway line either side, which you think as a wing back you'd be much more forward. Uh, in terms of we controlling the game, actually we did not, because we ended up finishing with less of a majority of possession. Now I know what you might be thinking. That was because we were down to 10 men in the last 10 minutes. Actually, in the first half we were also 55% possession, and in the second half we were only 56. So you could argue we actually did kind of better with 10 men possession wise. We didn't give too much away. We had two shots on target and scored two goals. We didn't have a lot of shots. The first half was lackluster. A lot of people watching the game with me was like, this is really boring. Like, more of the Nottingham Forest. And it was more of the same, to be fair. Um, Casemiro and Bruno, I didn't think they were too bad. I didn't think they were great. I thought Casemiro was 100% again pivotal to our club and pivotal to the game. Subbing him off again for the second time in a row for Ugarte has been the biggest mistake. I defend Bruno a lot, but I honestly would have preferred if we subbed out Bruno for Ugarte. Now people will go, but he got the assist, Nathan. And I'm like, that's why Bruno stays on. Casemiro is the possibly worst player we have in our squad. Sorry, did I say Casemiro? Apologies. Ugarte. I'm sorry, guys. This is fresh after the game. My head's gone. Please forgive me. Ugarte is probably the most error prone player we have. He is known for breaking up play, getting physical, getting in your grill, nudging you, tackling you, being rough, right? He's kind of responsible for both goals. The first goal, he literally lets the person run past him. He could have pulled his shirt, it could have been a cynical foul, he could have taken the red. He was fresh, it wouldn't make a difference, right? In the sense of he had time on his hands, don't let the person go through. A couple of minutes before that, someone did that to Mbeumo at the halfway line, to stop momentum. He could have done that, it led to a goal. Right, ran right past him. No tackle, no nothing. I think he got a little bit of his shirt, the guy just shirked him off, and then Matthias Tel scores the goal, I believe. Second goal, he plays Richarlison's inadvertent header into our goal, because I believe he played Richarlison onside because he was just way off. He is easily the biggest liability we have in the club. I don't know what to make of it, honestly. It's kind of sad, but it is what it is. Cunha looked absolutely lost in the first half. Yeah, and our bright shining lights were Ahmad and Mbeumo. They were good. Those are my takes on the players and the goals we conceded. Obviously, Matthias de Ligt scored in extra time from a Bruno Fernandes cross, of course, and Ahmad provided the assist in the box to Mbeumo, who's on the other side of the pitch. For the first goal, those were the goals. Sorry if I'm a little helter-skelter, but I'm really trying to gather myself here while I say this. Now we go on to Ruben Amorim. Now, Ruben Amorim is kind of making it more difficult for us just by the way he's doing things. He constantly shifts and changes position of our players. Ahmad had a fantastic spell at right wing back. Why replace him with Mazraoui, who's just become fit? Why? If you're worried about minutes, he's going to go to Morocco and play. He's going to start, right? Or he's going to definitely get minutes. Why take that chance? Especially when we need the momentum ourselves to carry on into after the international break, right? So you play Ahmad at 10, which in turn pushes Cunha up front. He started Dogu. I don't think there was merit on it based on his substitution performances. So he benches Dallo. Then the whole centre back thing where everyone keeps moving around has its own issues there. I think he took out a lot of the momentum. Also, he was playing Mbeumo at left cam, which is normally where Cunha plays or Mount plays. But then he kept playing Mbeumo at left cam when Ahmad went back to right wing back and Mount went on. And I don't understand why he would do that. And, you take away the momentum from everybody, the connections being built on the pitch. Because, Mbeumo's used to Ahmad. He's not used to Dogu because he plays on that side, right? So they'll have a naturally better connection, right? Whatever time they spend together. So you disrupt that connection. Cunha looked absolutely lost in this game. This game was for Sheshko. Sheshko came on immediately when he came on. long ball header through the Mbemo. We were already doing that. It was already looking dangerous. Um, Sheshko not playing again. He did get injured. He didn't really affect the game. I think for whatever time he was there, I think he made like 5 passes. He had a great chance. I don't know why he took so long to just shoot. Just shoot. If you miss, you miss. But just shoot, because Mason Mount did all the hard work, created so much space for him, and he just took forever. And Van der Ven, with his recovery pace, just took the ball away from him like it was nothing. And it was really disappointing because he had all this time on the ball. And I think he might have hurt his knee. The thing about Amarim is, Amarim then after the match says, we have to look at Ben, we have to see what's wrong with Ben. Ben's important to us. But if he's important to you, then play him, right? I mean, play him. Another thing, once the Casemiro sub went, the game was gone again. Now people are saying he should have subbed off Casemiro. He was tired, but that doesn't kind of add up. We are playing one game a week. Casemiro is about to go and play both games at Brazil, and he's going to play 2 games within 1 week. So make that make sense, because how can he play 2 games of 1 week, no matter what composition or minutes it is? But here he can't play 70 minutes. Like it kind of doesn't add up. Even though people would say you're protecting Casemiro, but then you should have protected Mazraoui, right? Because Mazraoui is actually coming back from injury, right? You should be protecting him as well. You're taking away Ahmad's momentum, in turn taking away Cunha's momentum, away again, taking Mbemo's momentum, because he had to drop back and help Dogu a lot to defend as well, which is something uh, he might or might not have to do with Ahmad, depending on how they work on the other side. So there was a lot of issues there, and it's really frustrating because a lot of people say our team is volatile, but I actually think our manager is volatile, because while you can't predict injuries and substitutions, you can always time the substitutions, right? Like there's sometimes he gets the substitutions like spot on, bang on, and then there's some he doesn't. uh, he should have, why didn't he play Mazraoui in the middle of the play? We have played Mazraoui as far as 10. Why didn't he play him in the middle with Bruno? uh, Ugarte is not helping his cause right now, and he keeps bringing on Ugarte, and Menu obviously was injured. So I don't really understand how that works, and it is kind of nullifying our momentum. I know people are going to say, Nathan, you're negative, but just really think about it for a second. We got a Worldy and a Fergie time goal to salvage 2 points, in which we could have gotten 6 because we were leading both games. And the performances of the players were also not good, and you have to call that out. But Amarim keeps juggling players, and it's not working. It's not working. I don't know about you guys, but I'm feeling a little bit down today. Hopefully, we can rebuild our momentum after the international break. If you have made it to the end of the video, guys, I greatly appreciate it. If you find anything wrong, if you find, I was back and forth with my comments, and I went in a roundabout way, forgive me. I normally wait the next day to do the review, but today my head was a little bit gone, so I did it now. Thank you for watching. Do like, share, and subscribe. If you feel I've missed out anything, do put it in the chat and I will respond to it, of course. Thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.